Family Check. It is right here on Good Morning Kenya, and I am joined by my guests. On my immediate right, we have Anthony Njenga. Anthony is a counseling psychologist and life coach. Welcome to the program yet again.
Thank you so much.
And right next to him, we have Grace Njeri. Grace Njeri is a children and youth mentor. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, our topic of conversation today is quite interesting. Are people scared of commitment nowadays? That is what we are asking. Are you guys just doing no strings attached out here? Are you willing to commit? And if you're not committing, what is stopping you from committing to the person that you're with? Why are you not making it an actual relationship? That is what we are talking about today. Anthony, what does commitment in a relationship look like?
Commitment in a relationship simply looks like or means being emotionally, physically, wholeheartedly present in that relationship, whereby now you put your focus into building this relationship with someone for the long-term purpose. And that is what commitment actually looks like to me. Mm-hmm. Yes.
The same thing?
Yes, it means being focused on this one person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you think people today are shunning away from commitment?
Well, I'd say yes and no.
Yeah.
Let me start with no. I believe maybe people are not scared of commitment, or they're not scared of committing. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're just scared of committing to the wrong person with the wrong purpose. And I would say yes, which really depends on a personal level. But the people who are scared of commitment, on a yes, I am scared of commitment, it could be they're actually scared to commit themselves into someone or a relationship whereby they're not seeing, you know, the long-term, you know, the vision, you know, that investing on, you know, there's no that emotional presence, there's no physical presence, the wholesome bit of it. And I would say commitment is one of the most really crucial and a bit challenging thing, because if really you have decided to be with someone in a relationship, I tend to believe you really must be committed into really doing this relationship with this person. Yeah. So, well, I'd say people are not really scared of commitment per se, but they're just scared of committing to the wrong person with the wrong purpose. Yeah. With like hamwendi mahali, muko tu munasonga tu.
Yeah. What's your view on that, Grace?
I think these days people will be scared of commitment. Talking from a point of personal self-growth, maybe I'm saying that when I get committed to this one person, especially in marriages, then that means my dreams, my aspirations, my visions tend to take a go slow or tend to take a back seat, especially for women. So more people are tending to be more focused on their self-growth. They want to actualize their vision. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And now, does commitment equal exclusivity? Is it one and the same thing?
Well, I would say, well, no, not really.
You can be committed to several.
You see, let me talk about this. If you're a single person, and maybe this is to the single people who are watching, you cannot just say that you're going to be committed to one person, and maybe that one person you're not sure of. That's why we normally advocate, if you're single, try talk to people. Try get to know people from a different level, you know. Don't get to know someone from just the sexual level, you engage in sex and stuff like that. Yeah. Get to know people, like not one person, not two people, not 3 people, at least 4 or 5 people. Wajue, na nikisema kuwajua simaanishi ati unawajua from a point of ati sasa unajaribu ku initiate sex, ndio upate hizo privileges and all that. Get to know someone or get to know the people from a point of now, so that you can be able to decide and choose and pick who among these few people that I'm talking to will I commit to. Maybe meet them, not just talking on WhatsApp or phone call. Meet this person, meet these people, have a one-on-one. get to learn these people from a one-on-one level and get to understand, do I really need to commit to person A, or do I really need to commit to person D, depending on how you are as a person. So don't, if you're a single person and you're watching, do not just commit to one person. Get to know several people. But if now you're in that relationship and you have found that person that you would say, this person ticks my boxes, you know, at the end of the day, we are not perfect. You cannot, you wouldn't say that you're going to meet someone who is perfect out there, who does not have challenges and mistakes. But the moment you meet that person who you see you can be able to move in that direction, you know, relationship is not a bed of roses. There are challenges, there are thorns. You know, there's a saying that says, for a rose flower to become a rose flower, there has to be thorns. So for something beautiful to be beautiful as it is, there has to be the mistakes and the challenges, which you wouldn't say you're going to run away from them just because you have noticed someone has these challenges. If you've found that person and you're ready to invest in that relationship, you're intentional about it, now that is from that point is where now you start committing yourself, emotionally being present, physically being present, engaging in, you know, things together, so that you can be able to move in one direction, which is a long-term purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember you can also get to join in on this conversation. This is a conversation for you, so you can be part and parcel of it through our WhatsApp number, that is 0716 103 301. 0716 103 301. You can send in your questions or comment on that number, and we'll also be opening the lines anytime from now, and you'll be free to call in live. As at now, you can just send in your messages and I will be reading them. So do you feel like the views on commitment have changed over the years? You know, if you try compare how commitment was viewed back in the days, you know, in the days of our grandfathers, grandmothers, to the modern day right now, have the views changed?
Yes, yes. I believe the views of commitment have changed. You can't compare commitment back those days to our time, because those days, especially if I talk from a woman's perspective, when they were committed to one person, they followed the norms of this person, the values of this person, and they bared the vision of this person. But these days, commitment has changed, because I have realized that as a woman, I have my own goals, I have my own visions, I have my own things that I need to achieve. And so me being committed does not mean that I have to follow the goals, the vision of this person, but I still also have to have my own independence to be able to achieve the things that I want. And like our mothers and our grandmothers' time, when most of them were open to staying at home, you know, getting married, you know, being staying at home moms, taking care of the children and taking care of the homestead. But this time you see even women who are committed in marriage or in relationships, they still want to pursue their goals, they still want to pursue their dreams. So yeah, the narrative has changed over the years.
Yeah. You also feel the same, that it has really changed over the years, commitment. The dating culture right now is completely different.
Yeah. So what she has just said, I'll just add a little bit. I'll just add to what she has said. She has said that you cannot, nowadays, people are not viewing commitment the way our parents, our grandparents used to view it. And you find that nowadays commitment is
I'll have to cut you short, I'm sorry.
Okay.
We have a live link. We have PS John Tanui is speaking on the upcoming Connected Africa Summit that is happening from the 26th of May to the 29th of May. It's happening at, the PS is speaking at Serena. If we can just head over there right now and get to listen in.
Jobs in our country, we have PPO companies who have set up in Kenya, including SAMA, CCI, and more recently, Teleperformance, positioning Kenya as an emerging PPO capital in the continent and part of the global PPO hubs. And this is going to unlock more opportunities for our young people. We are happy also to see partners, including Near Fiber, to see that manufacturing is already taking place in our country, and we are able even to export some of these products. We are happy to know that also EDAC and M-Copper here in Kenya are already manufacturing devices, phones here in the country. And it's an emerging space for electronic manufacturing, which we are very proud as a country, and we want to share this with the rest of the continent and work together. We are also very happy to see the software development in our country growing. We are hosting the Africa Development Center of Microsoft, which continues to grow and be a major development center for Microsoft in the continent. We've also seen Amazon Web Services setting also their software development here in the country. And more recently, Apple establishing the Apple Authorized Training Center at Strathmore, further positioning Kenya as a software and technology hub. We also appreciate many partners supporting us on the cybersecurity space. We have a Cisco Center, which is we are working in partnership, working with ICT Authority to further skill our young people to ensure that we defend this emerging digital space. As we invest in it, we want to make it more secure. We are working with many other partners to ensure that also in emerging technologies like AI, we position our country at the top. We are proud that we already have an AI strategy, and we are now implementing that strategy and looking how we can ensure that our country taps the most in terms of opportunities in that space. As Kenya, we must now shift our focus more intentionally to the continent. And I really want to repeat this. As Kenya, we must now shift our focus more intentionally to the continent. Our companies, professionals, and institutions must expand their horizons to serve across borders. There is quite a lot of need for us to support our neighbors and the rest of the continent. We are already well endowed in terms of capabilities with our professionals. We have the best talent in the region. This is the talent we want to see their services go beyond our borders. The data we have shows that exports of services in our country has already surpassed the exports of goods. And this is a very important information for us. And this is because of the talent we have, and the ICT sector already presents over $1 billion exports every year. And there is huge potential. And our investment in the digital infrastructure, investment in our talent, attracting more software development partners to settle in Kenya will enable our country grow in that sector and increase our exports in services. We must empower the many African headquartered multinationals and tech firms based in Nairobi, and to be the bridge to the rest of the African region, sharing our capabilities, partnerships, and innovations across the region. We must also enable our startups and enterprises to use the Connected Africa Summit as a platform to start exporting, to start connecting to the rest of the continent. So we invite Kenyan enterprises to take this opportunity very seriously, because it is your platform to expand. We encourage the professionals in the ICT sector to take this platform very seriously, because we are giving you a convening platform where we bring the entire continent here so that you can connect and to be able to see how you can serve countries across the continent. And to our multinational, the friends from the global, this is the opportunity to connect to the continent through the Connected Africa Summit. It is your gateway to the African continent, and we are looking forward to grow this platform to be even bigger, broader, and more enriching. We are looking forward to work with some of the global, multinational, and the other agencies to further position the Connected Africa Summit to be a global event. Let me conclude by thanking our partners and sponsors and all participants who have worked so hard to make this possible. To the media, thank you for your amplifying efforts, ensuring the conversations are focused and holding us accountable towards the goals that we have set in achievement and transformation of our country. As we gather over the coming days, let's remember that our shared digital future will be built not in isolation, but through collaboration, connectivity, and common purpose. Thank you, and let's continue to connect Africa. Tupatane diani. Asanteni sana.
And that was PS John Tanui speaking on the Connected Africa Summit that is upcoming, and the theme they're running with, the digital journey, vision to reality. So that is something that we will also be keeping up with. Let's get back to our conversation. We're talking about commitment, and are people scared of committing nowadays? Okay. Before we get back to our conversation, there's also another live happening at the moment. The government spokesperson, Dr. Isaac Mwaura, is addressing the media from the Harambee Annex. If we can just listen in to him.
2008 sote tulio hapa tulikuwa tunajielewa na tunajua kile ambacho kilitukia. Ni kweli kwamba familia nyingi ziliathirika, wengi wanaishi na majonzi hadi leo hii. Ila swali ambalo Wakenya wamejiuliza kutokana na yale matamshi ambayo baadhi ya viongozi wameyataja, ambayo mwenyewe hujamtaja kwa jina, ila tunajua kile ambacho kinaendelea kwa sasa katika ulingo wa kisiasa.
Regan, uliza swala.
Naelekea kwa swali. Swali langu ni hili. Tumeona viongozi wengi sana serikalini wakizungumza, wakijitanua kifua. Inakuwaje kwamba wale ambao wako katika ule mrengo wa nchi ambao si wa broad based government, wanapozungumza cheche zao zinakuwa ni za kuwachochea Wakenya, ili hali wale ambao wamo ndani ya serikali, ambao kwenye mabano Wakenya wanasema ni vibaraka wa rais, wakizungumza basi maneno yao ni ya kushawishi na kuleta ulimwengu na taifa kwa ujumla pamoja? Hilo swali utalijibu.
Kwanza nijibu hilo. Na ufupishe maswali yako kwa sababu ya muda, Regan. Na wewe rafiki yangu. Mwanzo ni kusema kwamba ni kweli, kwa sababu sisi wenyewe, rais ndiye ni afisi ya rais ama rais mwenyewe ndiye anaunganisha Kenya. Ukisema kwa kimombo ndio symbol of unity. Yaani anatujumuisha kwa pamoja kama rais. Na wakati unapochaguliwa, ndivyo unaweza kuchaguliwa, pengine upate kura upande huu na upande ule mwingine, lakini kisha ukishakuwa rais, lazima uunganishe wale waliokupigia kura na wale ambao hawakukupigia kura. Kwa hivyo ni jukumu letu sisi ambao tuko katika serikali, watuite vibaraka ama vikaragosi ama majina mengine, lakini lazima tuwe na ule utaifa na uzalendo. Kwa sababu Mungu hakufanya makosa kufanya kila Mkenya aweze kuishi katika nchi hii. Na haijalishi umetoka katika tabaka lipi ama kabila lipi. Tuko hapa katika tabaka mbalimbali, tuko katika mienendo tofauti ya kimaisha. Kwa hivyo lazima tusitizie umoja na uwiano na upendo. Nafikiri nimeweza kujibu.
Umesema nifupishe maswali. Where is the government seal right now?
Katika ukiangalia, when you look at the law is very clear. The seal is under the head of public service. That is the law. It was passed recently because of the executioning. The role of the head of public service is to execute the orders of the president. That is why even my office is under the executive office of the president, chief of staff and the head of public service. Next question.
So, Dr. that is to say the AG doesn't hold the government seal
The
anymore.
new law is that the head of public service is the one who has the public seal.
But was it communicated to Kenyans? Are the citizens aware that the government seal left the AG's office to head of public service?
Ronnie Reagan, that is a process that went through Parliament. The law was passed. There was public participation.
When was that?
Sometimes last year. So let us maintain that way. You can confirm with the Hansard. You can confirm with the proceedings. There was public participation. And there's nothing wrong with that, for your information.
So what happens to AG?
So therefore, the AG remains with his powers as the principal legal advisor of the president. But the seal of the president, of the government, is within the executive office of the president. Let's go to the next question.
My last question. We are very much aware what happened to Ngong Forest. There was a public outcry when the trees were being felled. And Kenyans asked, mbona msitu wa Ngong unaangushwa? Jawabu ambalo tulipata kutoka kwa the then cabinet secretary wa mazingira alitueleza kwamba wanaangusha miti ambayo imezeeka, ambayo haina umuhimu wala faida kwa Wakenya, ndio wapande miti ambayo inaleta umuhimu na faida kwa Wakenya. ujenzi ukaanza. Serikali ilijua kile ambacho kilikuwa kinafanyika. I&M Foundation na serikali ya Kenya walishikana kuleta ujenzi ambao walisema ulikuwa pia uleta manufaa kwa Kenya. Suddenly, mbona ujenzi huu umesitishwa?
Asante sana. Msimamo wetu kama serikali ni kwamba tutaendelea kupanda miti, sio tu katika Ngong, msitu wa Ngong, lakini pia misitu mingine yote ambayo iko hapa nchini, na pia tunasisitizia pia Wakenya waweze kupanda miti, hususan hata katika mashamba yao madogo madogo, ndiposa tuweze kuwa na miti bilioni 15 kama vile ilivyokuwa ni agizo ama azimio la Mheshimiwa Rais. Kwa hivyo kama kuna jambo lolote ambalo linakiuka mwito ule, liwe ambalo limeweza kufanyika kutokana na maamuzi ya asasi zote za kiserikali ama wawekezaji wa kibinafsi ama mtu binafsi, wakati kutatolewa lalama, wakati kutakuwa na watu wakiuliza haya maswali, wakati itaonekana kwamba hilo jambo litafanyika, tutasitisha na tutaendelea kusitisha. Kwa hiyo ni vizuri na tunawarai wa Kenya waweze kutoa maoni yao, na serikali hii inaweza kusikiza na inaweza kufanya kulingana na maamuzi yake. Swali lingine?
Hujambo Bwana Spokes. Mimi naitwa Anthony Nyongesa kutoka Aviation Radio 97.7 Nairobi. Swali langu kidogo linahusiana na kile ambacho kimeonekana kuwa ukiukaji wa haki za kibinadamu katika mkataba wa Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki. Siku ya jana tumeshuhudia mawakili akiwemo Martha Karua kule Tanzania wakirejeshwa hapa nchini, na walikuwa wamekwenda kuwakilisha mwenzao kitaaluma yao, na mpaka sasa hivi hatujaona Wizara ya Masuala ya Nje ikitoa taarifa yoyote. Ni swala ambalo pia nimetarajia ukiingia hapo utakuwa unalizungumzia. Nikaona hujazungumzia, ndio maana nikakuuliza Kenya inasema nini, kwa sababu ni ukiukaji. Kuna mkataba wa East African Establishment ile statute iko pale. Sasa kwamba Wakenya wako huru kutoka taifa moja, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, kuingia taifa ambalo wanataka bila vizuizi, na kama kuna vizuizi lazima sababu zitolewe. Je, kwa upande wa serikali, serikali ya Tanzania imetoa sababu yoyote ya kuwarejesha nchini wale mawakili?
Asante sana kwa swala hilo, na kama ambavyo nimeelezea, kutokea sasa kusonga mbele tutakuwa unauliza maswali na kujibu, sio tu kusoma. Ni kweli kwamba Mheshimiwa Martha Karua na wengineo walikuwa wamekwenda kule kwa kutaka kuwakilisha mawakili wa Tundu Lissu. Na ni kweli kwamba katika Umoja wa Afrika Mashariki ambao sasa hivi mwenyekiti ni Mheshimiwa Rais William Ruto, watu wanaweza kuenda, wana uhuru wa kwenda kutoka nchi nyingine mpaka ile nyingine. Na nafikiri mmeona watu wengi sana hata kutoka Burundi ambao wanafanya kazi hapa, watu wa kutoka hata Kongo, wengi sana tu, hata Rwanda. Na sasa hilo sio jambo ambalo ni geni, kwamba kuna soko huria, soko hili la Afrika Mashariki, ukanda huu wetu, na ni jumuiya pia. Kwa hiyo hilo sio jambo ambalo tunafaa kusema kwamba lipo katika kanuni zetu na mkataba. Na hata wakati mmoja tulikuwa na kile ambacho tulichokiita coalition of the willing, ambapo Kenya, Uganda na Rwanda hauhitaji hata kuwa na passport. Unahitaji tu kuwa na kitambulisho, na mimi nimeshawahi kusafiri na kitambulisho kwenda Uganda. Lakini kama serikali mojawapo ya jumuiya nchi hizi 7 pengine imeonelea kwamba mtu fulani hafai kuingia katika nchini kwake, basi ina ruksa, ina mamlaka wa kuweza kusema kwamba kama ni wewe usiweze kuingia, kama ni wewe Mwaura usikwende kule, kama ni wewe Nyongeza usikwenda kule. Kwa hivyo bado wao wana ule uwezo fauka ya kwamba ni soko huria na watu wanaweza kuuza bidhaa na kuenda katika maeneo tofauti tofauti katika ukanda huu wote wa Afrika Mashariki. Kwa hiyo kama wao wameamua vile, huo ni uamuzi wao, lakini hilo haliondolei kwamba kuna uhuru, kwa sababu pengine hatujui kile ambacho kilifanya wafanye vile, kwa sababu hayo ni maamuzi ya kwao. na Kenya haihusiki hata kidogo kwa mambo yale, kwa sababu hata sisi wenyewe tunaweza kusema kwamba mtu fulani asiweze kuingia katika nchi hii kama serikali. Next question. Yes. The man in yellow. Yeah. Yes, you can have the mic. Yes.
All right, and we are back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's go on with the conversation that we are having earlier on before we went to Harambee Annex to get to listen in to the government spokesperson, Dr. Isaac Mwaura. Now, we're talking about commitment and asking the question on whether people are nowadays scared of commitment in this modern day societies, and we're given different opinions. Maybe if we can just try and look at, okay, we have our other guest. Let me first introduce her. We have Njeri. Njeri Ndaru is a counseling psychologist and a growth coach.
Good morning, Vivian, and good morning, our viewers.
No, okay, I'll get back to you. Do we have a particular reason on why probably this is now becoming almost a trend whereby commitment is not really as important as it used to be? Could we be having like specific reasons as to why this is the reason?
Yes, a few reasons. Maybe one of the reasons would be things like domestic violence, maybe things like people not being happy in their long-term commitments, or people not being able to achieve their purposes, or people even, you know, saying that sometimes with a commitment with one person, sometimes life tends to become boring because this is one person you are with every single day, so there is no adventure, there is no insights, and sometimes even commitment brings about being comfortable. I am very comfortable with this one person, and hence I'm just there. So I'm not having nothing is pushing me to become a better version of myself. Nothing is pushing me, you know, to try new things because of I have been able to become comfortable, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was being done differently? Because I mean, relationships have been there over the years, over and over, you know, again. So what is so different now? You know, even the reasons that are being given, are these things, were these not concerns back in the day and commitments were still happening and people were staying longer in marriages, you know, people were willing to get into relationships for the long term and all that. Why is it that now it's a bit different? Well,
It could be a bit different because also looking at it from a point of a psychological perspective,
Yes, please.
the people who are afraid or scared of committing into relationships because probably they have been through some very, how would I put it, is it terrible upbringing, childhood upbringing, growing up the environment with their parents, with their guardians, and the people they grew up with has been a bit challenging. So it could be, you know, right now it could be different because maybe there are also people who are vocal about their personal, you know, personal reasons as to why they are not committing themselves in relationships or into being with someone. So I would say nowadays, currently, it is different because number one, there is a vocalization of that perspective of commitment, and there are people who are coming out to say, you know, I am not going to commit myself into this relationship because of A, B, C, and D. And also, there's that perspective of people being scared of commitment because of what is currently happening, the domestic violence, and all these, you know, challenges and issues in relationships. But I'll tell them, you cannot just conclude and say I am not going to commit myself with being with someone because I am scared of what might happen next. You know, you should learn also to live in the present moment and enjoy what is currently happening now, not ignoring the red flags and ignoring some of these telltale signs that maybe this person might be showing you. But also, it is important to not look at what will happen. Yes, there is a future perspective, there is a vision perspective, but also be able to live in the present, in the here and now, to enjoy what is currently happening, to build what can be built at the moment, instead of getting yourself or putting your mindset and perspective into thinking that the moment you commit with someone, the end result or the end goal might end up being domestic violence. It might end up being maybe your partner cheating on you. It might end up being a worst case scenario. Understand? Yeah.
Okay. Now allow me to get to introduce Njeri. Njeri Ndaru is a counseling psychologist and a growth coach. And even as we get into that, remember that you can also get to be part of the conversation. The lines are actually open. You can call in from now, 0716-103-301, 0716-103-301. You can call in live or send us a WhatsApp message. Njeri, from your point of view, do you feel like commitment nowadays is not really a thing? Like people are moving away from committing more. People are, you know, are opting to be, I just want to be alone. I can have someone, but I don't want really to commit to them.
I tend to think that it is because of how the society brings out commitment. And especially considering because from the topic we're speaking about, mostly it's pointing towards the millennials and the Gen Zs. We have grown up seeing how love relationships, especially from the older generation, our parents, our grandparents, how the dynamics were. And I feel because a child learns from modeling, we have seen how our parents treated each other. So because of the information that is out there and the exposure that we've got, because we have social media, we have, you know, we are meeting people from different backgrounds, and that exposure has opened our eyes, to put it out there. It has opened our eyes. So I tend to feel that we are in a position where we feel like we need more, we desire more. But now getting back to our background, we have not been taught what we need to do as partners to each other to get to that expectation. Because you might find, as we say, you know, the fathers have to be good role models to their daughters, their mothers have to be good roles to the sons, but not everyone is brought up in that dynamic. And for us now to get to where we say that we have to commit, because commitment is a decision, what is the other person bringing to the table? What am I bringing to the table? Because if we are not able to sit down and say, this is what I'm bringing and this is what you are bringing, so how can we put it together? Then commitment will be an issue. Because sometimes you find someone is ready to commit, but the other party is not showing their commitment. So there will be a miscommunication and fail in that relationship. So commitment is very personal and intentional. And even from the earlier stages of dating, you have to come to an agreement. Maybe this is how I have been brought up, but can I compromise maybe for us to go this other direction?
Yeah. Is the fear of commitment more common to a specific gender? Would you say there's a specific gender that fears commitment more? Could it be the males or the females?
I think it goes both ways. I think we've seen men when they say that they don't see the need of committing as long as their needs are being taken care of, as long as there's someone going to wash their houses, clean, cook, and eat.
Someone said, mbona ninunue ng'ombe
I
na napata
know,
maziwa
for
kila
free. So, and for the ladies, I think the fear comes from a perspective of when they hear the word commitment, they feel like their values, their purpose, their goals, their vision, they put aside to be able to support this one's vision. So I feel like both genders do fear commitment.
Yeah. Your view is the same on that?
I tend to differ a bit. I tend to think men mostly fear commitment compared to ladies. The reason being, you know, there could be a man or men who are scared of committing because for them, they believe that, you know, there's this aspect of, let me just put it this way, there's this aspect of a relationship where there are two people involved, that is a man and a woman. And there is what the Bible has said, there is what the spiritual perspective has said on what men need to do. There is also what the society expects, and there is a reality of it. Now, what I'm trying to say is, for men, they could be scared of commitment because could be
The expectation
also, and also, now talking the way I've just, the examples I've used, by biblical perspective, the societal perspective, and the realistic perspective. Biblically, and the society expects men to be providers, which is very okay, which a man needs to provide, and it is very okay with that. But now, looking at it from a point of now a relationship where there are two people involved, are you going to tell me now that we have a family? Now, if I'm the man and maybe I have this lady, and we have now decided intentionally to grow this relationship of ours, we are committed to taking a long-term perspective or direction of this relationship to build emotionally, spiritually, financially, wholesomely. Are you going to tell me that as a lady, you're going to tell me that yes, 100% of responsibility and the bills is going to be on my side? Not really, because you see.
Let's get our first caller.
Okay.
Allow me to cut you short. Alex, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, morning. Tuongeleshe.
Najua hata siwasikii vizuri. Mnaongea ukiwa wengi.
Tunakusikia Alex, ongea tu.
Hello.
Hi Alex, unaweza ukamute TV yako tafadhali. Mute your TV, alafu utaweza kutupata vizuri. Alex,
Hello.
Tunakusikia, endelea. Alex anajisikiza kwa TV. All right, we've missed him. So yeah.
Yes, I was saying now. Now, you see, the men could be scared of commitment because now there's this perspective, the Bible, the society expects that the man is going to do all that. But I believe when it comes to two people coming together to build a relationship, to build a family and all that, there is the support. You both need support from both ends. It should not be only one end coming to chip in and not the other party. You know, there's this perspective where ladies say, my money is my money is my money, your money is ours. But you see, what if now nifutwe kazi ama kazi ishe nikose job? Will you say now as a lady you're not going to come and chip in because of the same? And also there are ladies who in relationships, and that's why I feel like mostly men fear committing. There are ladies or women who are not really emotionally present for men. They are not really there for men. They don't give that the men the emotional support that is needed. And I expect you're my partner, at least be there for me. Yes, you're not my therapist, you're not my counselor to help me 100% deal with my mental challenges, but I expect you to at least chip in and support me on matters, my emotional health and my mental well-being. But you see, there are ladies who don't have that perspective. They feel like just because you're a man, you need to handle things on your own. Just because you're a man, this is your home, this is our family, but yes, you're the one who, as a man, should provide and give in 100%. But I don't believe in the same. Both of you, the man and the woman, you have decided to commit yourself into this relationship, intentionally in this relationship, be able to at least support each other. Not only one party being able to support and the other party is not giving that support. It doesn't matter how little it might be. So I feel like men at some point are the ones that are mostly scared compared to women.
All right, we have Augustine on the call. Augustine, good morning. Good morning, Augustine. Kindly, when you call, just mute your TV.
Hello.
Hi, Augustine.
Yes,
talk to us.
Morning.
Morning. Talk to us, Augustine. We can hear you.
Yes, morning.
Continue, we can hear you.
Morning. Yeah, I wanted to nilikuwa nasema
Yes.
nataka comment hapo.
Ongea tuambie, tunakusikia.
na siku hizi wanaume wako sababu siku hizi hata ukiangalia society watu pia changamoto mingi, so mtu kukua committed na mtu wake ili tena vile jasimika inafanya kuwa tu pia.
So unasema siku hizi ni ngumu. Oh, we've lost him. We've lost him. Did you get him? I wasn't getting clearly. I think he just said siku hizi ni ngumu, and then I didn't hear much from that. We also didn't get. Okay. So, you know, even as you're saying, you know, you feel like more men are scared of committing.
Yes.
And it's because of the pressure that has been put on the men.
Yep.
You know, Mjeri, would you say that we are really pressurizing these men out here to a point where now they opt, okay, I'd rather not?
Yes, to some extent, because for the past, let me say, decade, there has been a lot of women empowerment. So the woman is being empowered, but the man is not being empowered. So by the time the lady is coming to the relationship, maybe she's a career woman, she does not expect to maybe raise the children for 2 years without going to work. And to some extent, because men have been taught to be hard, mimi ndio kusema, what I say goes, so there is no that space for negotiation. The man might feel that, why should I be committed, whereas huyu mwanamke hata anisikizi, or maybe she's not ready to nurture the family in that way. So even as much as we empower the lady to be a woman in the house and in the career field, the man has also to be empowered, so that by the time maybe she's meeting the lady of her dreams, he is not even afraid of commitment, because he already knows what he can expect, how to negotiate, how to have these conversations so that they can come to a compromise. Because at the end of the day, the children will go, they will get married or marry, they will leave the house. Then what will happen? Will we say, sasa kila mtu aende kivyake, because we don't have even a connection? And as earlier as she had said that we have to have that connection, that
I'll
even
have to cut you short.
Okay.
Augustine is back. Augustine, tunakusikia, ongea.
Halo.
Hey, Augustine.
Sasa ndio nilikuwa nasema, unajua siku hizi wanaume kazi pia kupatikana imekuwa shida. So unapata sisi wanaume mtu anajaribu kujituma, but wale wanawake hawaelewi. So kitu tu poa ni unapata lady anajiweza, si ndio? So anajiweza, but ametegemea ile mwanaume wake sana. Akikosa job anaona ni kama imekuwa njia mrefu ama inakuwa changamoto. So pia inafaa wakati kama mwanaume ako home hivi, akikosa tuseme job, unaona bibi yake at least anampiga support, so at least italeta zile commitment itakuwa hapo at least kiasi ile. But siku hizi watu wanapitia tu changamoto nyingi because of kukosa kama job, alafu tena ladies hawaelewi, ndio wanatupiga mapresha sana, unaona. Mtu umekosa kitu anakupiga mapresha, haelewi.
Yeah. So unasema inakuwa ngumu, inakuwa ngumu saizi kwa sababu you feel like the women hawaelewi, hawataki kuelewa.
Yeah, they don't understand.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Augustine. That's what Augustine said, and I think it was almost the same thing like, that you were saying and she was saying, because right now, as you were putting it, you feel like the lady has been really empowered. So we have more career women compared to, you know, back in the day, you know, so they want, when they come into this, you need to also have your things together. And they don't have space for, okay, let me allow and extend grace to this person. Probably they're still looking and whatever. So that could also be a reason. And with this trend, don't you guys think we'll get to a point where we are now completely losing the family dynamic? Because if there's no commitment, How is life going to look like 15 years from now, 15, 20 years from now, if every young person right now decides, okay, we're not committing? How is the family dynamic going to be affected?
It's gonna be a big challenge.
Yeah.
But I want also we look at it from a perspective of it is not that everyone is afraid of commitment. It is not that every person, you know, it doesn't matter how many people, it doesn't matter whether people are afraid or scared of commitment, but there are people who actually believe in committing in a relationship. Whether there are people who don't, let's also look at also the other percentage who actually believe in being intentional, committing into something and making something work. But when you look at it from the other perspective of now the family dynamic will be affected, yes, it will be affected, it will be a major challenge, it will be a big factor. But this is to say that it is something we need to also raise more awareness of when it comes to committing into a relationship. What do you commit to? You know, this matters, these issues of relationship and things concerning romantic relationship and dating, marriage and all those things. But also, as much as yes, this will break the family dynamic later on, but also looking at it from another perspective, not everyone is scared of commitment. It is not that the whole, in this world we are like 8 billion, 7 billion, you wouldn't say like 7 billion people are scared of commitment. There are people who actually believe in committing into a relationship and making something work and investing themselves intentionally, being able to invest themselves, committing into making something work for the long-term purpose of it. Yeah.
What maybe can we work on changing in order for us to have more people who are willing to commit?
Maybe as she mentioned, empowerment of both genders on an equal basis. So as the girl child is being mentored, the boy child can also be mentored. This way the boy child will never feel threatened of the girl child even as she rises. Because right now most men are scared of committing to a woman who is really scaling in the corporate ladder or in the societal ladder. So I feel empowerment is one thing that would really need to invest in, and also need to teach the men that it's okay to have a woman who is more empowered than you. It's okay to have this woman who earns more than you. It's okay to have a person who is calling the shots in any sector in the industry.
I see Anthony agreeing, but I don't know how much of agreeing he is. Like, would you be open to have, you know, such a lady in the house?
A lady who is empowered?
Yeah, who earns more than you, you know.
Yeah, on a personal basis, I would be okay. It all depends with whether she respects me and sees me as the man in the home. Because there are women who, as much as they are empowered, as much as they are earning more, as much as they have titles, as much as they are big fish in the business industry, as much as they have these big names and big titles, there are women who don't have respect, and there are women who believe that they are, just because they are up there, they really can be able to be the men and take up that man responsibility. Wanakuja na kifua na wanaanza kucontrol your relationship na kusema unajua sasa juu mimi nina earn more, tutaenda hii direction. Na wewe kama mwanamume utanirespect na kama 20 direction at wendi.
And it can't work.
It can't work like that.
Would you say that social media has played a big part in getting us into where we are right now? Because, you know, we are in the era of dating apps. You know, like you can like, it feels like it's so easy for you to get somebody, you know, just with the phone at hand, you can be able to connect with anyone from anywhere in the world. Is this also, you know, part of why we are where we are?
I don't think so. But like Anthony had shared, you know, when you're dating, you have to be truthful. And that starts with self-awareness. Who am I? What am I looking for? Where do I want to go? Because even if, let me say in the aspect of a man, he's earning a little, let me say below 50,000, he can still get a lady of value, a lady who can believe in him, walk with him the journey to where they see themselves. But now the problem comes when we are pressurized by social media. We are seeing, you know, a lady is being gifted a Jeep, Jeep Wrangler, which is my dream car, and I'm like, that is what I want. But getting back to the ground, is my man able to do that? And even from a personal level, am I able to do that? Because before someone else does it for me, I should be able at least to do something towards that goal. Maybe he has 2M. Do I have an M to add to that? Even if, of course, I deserve to be gifted. So that is where, especially as ladies, we have to see. Even if I want this man that has it all, what am I bringing to the table? Can we have that conversation? And coming back to the influence of social media is here to empower us, not to bring us down. So if you can use that to your advantage, and even as a man to get empowerment from that, so that maybe when you get a lady, you're now on the same page, that will really help us as a society.
All right, time is really not on our side. We need to wind up. I don't know if we can get just final remarks in 30 seconds, strictly 30 seconds each. Can start with you.
Maybe I think what I would say is society has also shown us that we are equal, but then again, I believe that we are never going to be equal. There's no way I'll ever compare myself with a man. So he sticks to his lane, I stick to my lane, and I learn to respect his.
All right, okay.
Okay, what I'd say is if you're having challenges and you have these fears of commitment or any challenges in your relationship, I'm a therapist myself, I'm a counseling psychologist. You can talk to me on social media, on Instagram, official Anthony Njenga, on TikTok, official Anthony Njenga, on Facebook, Anthony Gaido Njenga, on LinkedIn, Anthony G Njenga, and my number for therapy services only is 0725 02 9398. Thank you.
All right.
My parting shot is that don't shy to seek help. Find mentors. Mentors are really, really key in your journey, especially in your relationships. And they don't have to be those high-end people that we look at in the media. Find someone that can walk the journey with you, someone that can correct you, someone that can mentor you. And that goes to both ladies and men. And if you're already in marriage, in a relationship, find a couple that you can walk the journey with. Whether they are pastors, people in the society, have them walk with you. And also, be open to conversation, communicate your needs, communicate your desires with your partner. For ladies, don't expect them to read your mind. And you can find me on all social media platforms, Psychologist Njeri Ndarue.
All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for this conversation. This is where we get to end this, and remember, we do this, we have such conversations each and every Monday from around 8:45 a.m. So you can be tuning in every time we have such a conversation. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is where we call it a wrap. My name is Vivian Ndegwa. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Goodbye.